I'm so happy that you're here today because I'm diving into that popular reality show Love is Blind, episode 10. Hi, I'm Dr. Pam, therapist and passionate couples counselor, and the takeaway from today's show is what happens when one partner ends the conversation before it even begins. This story raises tough questions about fairness and respect in relationships.
There is no scenario that I see myself standing there and saying yes to making you my wife forever.
Also, can control protect you from heartbreak, or does it push love away?
When we're in the pods and you were talking about how much I read, and you were like, I would love to read. Like, have you read?
I haven't had a chance to.
Okay.
And finally, can this couple handle their first major conflict? Their fears and responses could either strengthen their bond or tear it apart.
I tell you everything, and you know that's hard for me. I know you're sorry.
Okay, let's talk about the hard fall with Alex and Tim.
I understood you were sleepy, but my parents drove up here 10 hours to meet you. And as soon as the cameras cut, you decided to go to sleep at the first opportunity. But for me, that was not okay.
I was exhausted. I like to take my naps. We talked for hours about you. If it really meant that to you, I would have stayed up.
I had been trying to communicate with you all day during the day.
Can I just stop you right there?
Sure.
You're saying you were trying to contact me all day. I talked to you 3 times yesterday.
Would you like me to tell my side of the story?
But I don't appreciate that. That's not true. I just talked to them for 4 hours. I didn't think it was that big of a deal to go to sleep for an hour. I really didn't. But if it meant something, you have to just say that. You never said anything. I was hurt. I am trying my hardest.
After reflecting on what I really want out of life and a wife, I have to be honest with myself that the answer between you and I, for me, is no.
I mean, if your mind is made up, I have many words to say on what you're saying.
I'm here to listen.
Huh?
I'm here to listen if you would like to. I'm always listening to understand. Am I gonna get to speak?
Absolutely.
All right. And with that in mind, I'm glad we can at least agree that I don't ever want to see you again.
When conflict happens, healthy conflict is about working together to understand each other. But it seems like Tim had already decided to end the relationship before the conversation even started, which wasn't fair to Alex. Healthy conflict needs openness and a willingness to listen, but Tim's actions didn't show that at all. Though he claimed to listen to understand, Tim interrupted Alex.
And then at 5 o'clock, you
yes,
texted
but you
me.
were asleep for most of the day.
He dismissed her.
Sleep for an hour.
Whatever it
From
was,
5
we
to
did not
6.
text much yesterday.
And he shut down any meaningful dialogue.
I am trying my hardest.
After reflecting on what I really want out of life and a wife, I have to be honest with myself that the answer between you and I, for me, is no.
It seemed like he sees himself as a thoughtful communicator, but in the heat of the moment, those skills were not coming through. The specific issue for Alex of taking a nap shows the unfairness in their dynamic. He criticized her for resting after engaging with his family for hours, framing it as unacceptable without ever sharing that with her before all of this occurred. This left Alex in a no-win situation. How can someone address concerns they were never made aware of in the first place? Tim's unwillingness to consider her perspective or validate her intentions shows that he wasn't invested in resolving the issue at all. Ultimately, it wasn't about the nap or the texting. Tim had already made up his mind. His harsh comment, "We can agree that I don't ever want to see you again," which is so harsh, shut down any chance for closure for her and dismissed her feelings entirely. Here's something important to remember. Tim referred to himself as a dog in the pods.
Yeah.
I'm a dog. Like, when it comes to this, like, seriously, I need somebody who's gonna bite back.
When someone tells you something about themselves, believe them. While the exact meaning of being a dog may vary, it's generally not something that's positive, and his hurtful behavior in this interaction might reflect what he meant when he described himself that way. Okay, so speaking of hurt, Tyler and Ashley are still navigating their hurt, and they are doing it in a very healthy way. Let's watch.
I don't hate you, you know. I am just disappointed in you. Yeah. And I am trying to navigate a million emotions at once.
I'm not taking it lightly that even that you're here talking, because you didn't have to come back, you didn't have to talk.
I do want to give myself time, and the first step starts with knowing more about that dynamic.
Yeah. I had a very close friend, her and her wife wanted to have a baby, and they couldn't afford a sperm donor. I thought that was God telling me, you know, help someone else. And it felt good.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll give it a try. I still don't know how I feel about it, but you know.
Yeah, no. That's why I said just try. I'm not asking you to accept. I'm scared now.
What are you scared of?
This not working.
What I really like about this conversation is how open both of them are with their emotions. They are being vulnerable with each other, which shows that they care and want to work through things together. It's clear that both of them are trying to communicate and understand each other, which is exactly what you want in a relationship. Okay, just a quick important comment about Hannah and how she is setting herself up for her worst fear. And I'll tell you what that is.
I want you to be like an active listener, an active partner. I don't want to have to always have to be the first one to start a deep conversation or initiate sex.
Little things, right? Like in Mexico, I couldn't figure out the lights. Like you got pissed when I couldn't figure out the 50 lights. But that wasn't like a one-time thing, right? Like, hey Hannah, you know where the disposal is? Mm-hmm. No, you didn't say I was stupid, but like you're like, come on, Nick, like you should know this. Sometimes I feel like, you know, you do think I'm maybe sometimes like a level below you, you know what I mean? I just want to be treated as an equal.
I think you get treated like an equal when you start contributing like an equal. I think I'm mature and I'm ready, and I just want to make sure you're mature and ready for it.
Hannah has repeatedly said to Nick in past episodes, "Don't break my heart." But she is trying to protect herself from heartbreak by taking as much control over Nick and their relationship as possible. Unfortunately, she's doing it in a very shaming way, as I talked about in my last video. Here's the thing. Hannah's concerns are completely valid. She doesn't want to feel like she's carrying all the responsibility or more than is her fair share in their day-to-day lives. And that's fair and an important desire in any partnership. But the way that she's approaching it is so counterproductive. So for Hannah, instead of demanding how Nick should behave, she can focus on communicating her needs in a way that is collaborative and free of shame, most important. So she can invite Nick into the conversation about how they can share responsibilities and work as a team. She's far more likely to create a partnership where both of them can feel respected and heard. She has often said that she treats Nick with respect, but as I have said before, shaming is not respect. Hannah often says that she is mature, emotionally mature, but she is confusing being a responsible adult with emotional maturity, and the two are very different things. Emotional maturity involves understanding and managing emotions and communicating without shame and navigating relationships with empathy and collaboration. And it is clear that Hannah still has some emotional growth work to do, and that's okay. This isn't a criticism or a judgment of her. It's just an observation intended to help her avoid heartbreak and build a healthier, more fulfilling relationship that she wants. Let's dive into Taylor and Garrett's first conflict. And conflict isn't a bad thing in a relationship. In fact, it is an opportunity for growth. Whether it strengthens your bond or creates more problems depends on how you handle it together. Taylor and Garrett are facing their first real challenge, which is actually a good thing because knowing how you navigate conflict is one of the best indicators to know if your relationship is going to go the distance. So let's see how they manage it.
I just want to make it incredibly clear that if other women from your past are talking to you, you're just shutting it down.
Yeah.
I'm engaged.
Yeah.
That's it.
Shut it down.
It's shut it down.
Easy.
Don't just like leave
Easy.
them on red or like even worse, like something.
I totally understand. I'm sorry. It obviously didn't mean anything. Like, I don't feel any sort of way. I saw it this morning. I didn't know how to react. I just liked the message, and then I literally did not think about it the rest of the day. She isn't anything to me anymore.
I know, but it's just, I know that it's not part of your life, but I do want you to think about like, how would this make me feel?
I know, I hear that, 100%.
Yes, especially as someone who has been cheated on, is putting an incredible amount of faith in you and like believing and like trusting you completely.
I know. It kills me to even see you upset.
Taylor is terrified, which makes sense. She's been betrayed before in a past relationship, and now she's terrified of going through that again. When we're triggered like that, we're not just reacting to the present, we are reliving our hurt from our past. And honestly, it doesn't help that she's only known Garrett for a few weeks, and everything's been so perfect so far. That kind of perfection can make fear of losing even bigger. But here's the thing. Garrett is scared too. Even though he's the one who needs to make things right, when he says that it's hard for him to see her upset, seeing her hurt is actually a good thing. It's important for all of us to see and understand how our actions affect someone that we really love and care about. Plus, it's a chance for him to learn about her triggers and how to support her better. What I really like is that Garrett isn't getting defensive, which is huge. When you hurt someone and then act defensively, it just makes things worse. Instead, he is staying present and showing he's willing to work through this with her. And that is such an important step in building trust and repair and healing.
My ex-girlfriend, the one from 6.5 years ago, whatever, she texted me last night, and I just said, like, you know, I liked her or whatever, and then...
Did you say anything back?
No, I just liked it, so it was all good. I was like, oh no,
You
I'm sorry.
responded?
I'm sorry. So I said, well...
This is different.
I said, okay.
Okay, well, let me see your phone. What did you say?
It's over there, I can go get it, but can I get it later? I can get it if you'd like. So I texted her back and like just said, hey, I didn't tell you this, but I met someone, I'm engaged, and basically like I don't think we should continue sending messages.
You told me an hour ago that you only liked the message, and now you're saying that you responded to like this like objectively like connective like reach out, something else, not just like I liked it and left it. I just want to be very clear. So
Yeah, I didn't just, no, I wrote a response.
That's not what you just told me an hour ago.
Yeah, we didn't get into specific like what was the response, but yes, that is what I did.
I think we should let them.
Yeah.
Actually.
10.
Yeah, I'll go with her.
20 something insane. This is like changing.
Well, that just added more salt to Taylor's wound. I really wish they had more time to process this instead of just an hour before the party. I also wish that Garrett hadn't brought this up with Ashley and Tyler. I mean, it's unclear why he did that. Obviously, we're only seeing snippets of what's happening. There's so much that we don't see because either it's not recorded or it's edited out. But let's see how they handle it as they continue discussing it.
You lied again.
I didn't lie.
You said, I just liked the message and I ignored it.
Yeah.
And when people are in front of us, you're saying, well, no, I responded to it.
I don't even remember what I said because it was more about like this thing happened, but we didn't revisit. But you're saying like there's a difference between just liking it and actually responding with words. Like I didn't think there was a difference there. And I'm sorry, and I missed that detail. I apologize.
Those are facts.
The point is I should have told you those things. I should have told you the facts of the situation. I'm so sorry.
You could have done this like
I should have done
an hour
it.
ago.
I should have. Should have told you first thing this morning. I made a huge mistake. It eats me alive that you feel this way right now.
I told you how I need to be 200% for you to like be my family. And now I'm not 200%.
You will hear me say this often. No one should feel completely sure about a relationship until you have faced conflict together and come through it stronger as a couple. Taylor said that she was 200% sure about them, but this situation has really challenged her thinking. One of the hardest parts of conflict, especially when we've hurt someone unintentionally, is our instinct is to explain ourselves, which is exactly what Garrett is trying to do. But that rarely helps in the moment. She might need that explanation later, but right now what she needs is to feel understood. And that comes with empathy and validation. He could have said, I see that I really hurt you, and I know that you must be really scared right now, which is the last thing I want. Or, I can see why you're angry. I could have handled this very differently. While he did say some things like that, I should have told you about this morning, he said, and he said he effed up, but none of that actually validates how she is feeling. It's so necessary to start with understanding and expressing empathy and validating your partner's hurt before explaining your intentions. That's what really makes someone feel seen and heard. You can always share your side once you know that your partner feels understood, but skipping straight to the explanations often makes them feel worse. Okay, that's a wrap on episode 10. I do hope that you found this helpful, and if you did, give the video a thumbs up and share it with someone who might find some value in the tips that I shared with you today. Come back for episode 11, where there's a whole lot of hurt going on, and I'm really going to break down breakups and what we can learn from them. And if you want more insights and relationship tips to strengthen your relationship, go ahead and subscribe. And please know that I deeply appreciate your support, and I do hope that my content supports you in return, because I am so deeply committed to helping you get that fulfilling relationship that you not only want, but that you deserve. See you soon.